Well, I really don't have too much of value to add here, but I just had to talk about this, guys. Today, the devs have announced what is coming up with Halloween, so it still feels like things are moving at a very breakneck pace. We just had the balance, we just had the introduction of the tonics and the fulfillment of that last bit, the novelty section. Well, here on the official website, they have revealed in very few words that Halloween is coming soon. So, a nice little post here. For many of us, the content within Halloween is kind of old news now, and we expect just kind of a bit of a change. Like with Path of Fire, they added the mounts to the labyrinth, and now we'll be able to have the roller beetle. Well, buckle up, because it seems there is going to be something, and it's something I've asked for every single year since the original Halloween. Every single time I find myself doing a video about this, I always request it, and it's coming. Check it out. Halloween is coming soon by the Guild Wars 2 team, October 9th, 2018, from October 16th, all right? So that means this is starting just 1 week from now, through till November 6th, a huge festival, really. King Oswald Thorne's cruel laughter will fill the air as Halloween returns to Tyria. Play wicked games, tackle the Mad King's clock tower, go trick-or-treating in the labyrinth, and more. Here it is, and are you brave enough to venture into the field? Reaper's Rumble is back, and you can introduce your roller beetle to the joys of Halloween at the Mad King's Raceway. Click here to download, blah, 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 blah. So it's actually happening. I can't believe it. That's what the screenshot you can see here on the website is actually depicting. It's the Reaper's Rumble, a PvP game type that was implemented back during the first year, but then disappeared forevermore. And a long time we've speculated as to why that might have been the case. Halloween on that original year was actually very varied. It had a lot of different things going on. They released it in so-called 4 separate acts, and while several of the features that came with Halloween ended up getting re-implemented over time, this one just kinda didn't. In fact, if I remember rightly, the other PvP format, the zombies game mode, essentially, while you're running around in the labyrinth, and some people are the villagers and some people are the undead running around, that disappeared for a few years, but then was re-implemented. And I always kind of wondered, why didn't this one? It's a funny thing, because you hear me being so excited about this, but it's been so many years, I don't even really remember if the game type's that good. But I'll talk you guys through exactly what it is. And here in the background, I can show you some other screenshots of it here in 2018 with all the new engine fun stuff. You can see a couple of screenshots that they've thrown in with this asset kit that they're talking about. So the idea of Reaper's Rumble, as it was originally released, you have to remember, in 2012, was around the height of MOBA popularity, or just before the height of MOBA popularity. And so the devs were kind of playing with it. It was not the first time Guild Wars has done this. There was a very obscure other mini game in Winter's Day for the original as well that was kind of MOBA related. So that's kind of what it was. But if I remember rightly, it was still based on points. So you got points for killing people, you got points for destroying the structures as you aggress the enemy base. And I think it still ended based on when you hit a certain threshold of points, rather than it being purely about the base assault. But I'm not entirely sure at this point, as it's been so many years. But the idea is there were like 3 mausoleums that were constantly spawning undead that would travel out towards your base, and your job is to go break those mausoleums and, you know, see what you can do. It was one of these festival game types, much like snowball fights, much like the Aspect Arena, that I truly adore and really want to see good PvP infrastructure allowing us to festival queue in on this stuff, because it could be so fun. What it will do is when you're playing there, it will change your skill bar to a completely different build with different gameplay and styled skills that you won't have experienced anywhere else in the game for a long time. And yeah, it should be really fun. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to show a lot of it off, because it really does kind of feel like how I would treat a Season 1 re-inclusion at this point. In that it's been so many years since we've been able to play it, it almost feels totally new. You know, there's another funny thing about the Reaper's Rumble as well. Way back when, one of the mechanics on the map was to hide in the cornfields, and if you as a player went there, it would stealth you. Then, of course, when you leave the fields, you'd get de-stealthed. So very similar to what we find if you guys are League of Legends fans. You'll be well aware of, like, hiding in bushes and stuff. Well, Guild Wars 2 did it. Then, Reaper's Rumble went away. We never saw that in any story, any expansion, any side content in the game at all until this year, didn't we? If you look back at Episode 2 on the Sandswept Isles, there is that heart that you have to hide in the grasses, which stealths you. So I wonder if the devs, like, enjoy that tech and they'll be reutilizing it here. I suspect that Reaper's Rumble, much like many of the other pieces of content that had massive hiatuses in this game, it probably went away because of engine changes, right? Just like when Super adventure box was gone, stuff about it will have broken, and they wouldn't have had time in previous Halloweens to fully fix it up. Well, this time they will, and I cannot wait to get in, see how they may have upgraded it, see how they may have changed even the balance and whatnot of it altogether. Because that could be really cool to see now that we're in 2018 and so much stuff has been added via Elite specs. It was interesting, for example, going back to the Aspect Arena this year and seeing so many of those skills kind of felt like Elite spec skills. One of the lightning abilities basically is a Druid staff ability, but playable and usable way before the Druid was actually available in Heart of Thorns. And that was kind of funny to look back on. Obviously, we should keep our expectations somewhat in check, as they are really just re-implementing. I doubt they're going to radically change the whole thing. But any slight tweaks to bring it up to the 2018 standard should be cool. I just hope it's not dead. If it is dead, we'll at least do a stream where we can get a ton of people in there and see how it goes. So yeah, that's Reaper's Rumble. There's really not much else that they have to say about Halloween. I would expect a lot of the other stuff. There are two things. Costume Brawl, first of all. You'll see actually on the main post, they do end by saying there's Costume Party. If you're dressing for the holidays in-game, head over to Twitter and share screenshots of your costume using the hashtag Guild Wars 2 Costume Party hashtag. They don't say why. What, is that some kind of giveaway? Am I going to get a Quaggan mug for that? I don't know, but they do suggest that. I was hoping to see some kind of Costume Brawl achievement updates maybe, or rewards selection changes, just to encourage people to do it a bit more. One of my most prominent memories and excitements of original Halloween was that feature coming into the game and everybody playing with it so much. It seems like a perfect thing to time with the novelties update, but there's no details on that yet. Obviously, if you've sat through this before, what you should know is they'll announce Halloween, but they won't go into the minutiae of all the little changes. There will be new rewards. There will be new things unlocking from vendors. There should be changes to achievements. Last year, remember, they added that whole three new armor sets. One for light, one for heavy, one for medium. And I never even collected them all, the Lunatic Acolyte stuff. Well, we'll hopefully be able to collect that, and then, I don't know, what, tier it up maybe, get some other new stuff instead this year? Should be at least somewhat interesting. There is also in the screenshots, I guess I'll point out, this little fellow here, which would appear to be another Roller Beetle skin. I don't really follow this very closely, but I guess we're due for another legendary skin of some kind. And this is a flaming Mad King, like, lunatic-looking beetle. Does look kind of cool. And what I'm mostly wondering is you'll see that we're on the mount in Reaper's Rumble. That's totally the Reaper's Rumble arena there. So what, is it a mount? Have they updated to have mount-based stuff, or is that just for promotional purposes? I'm not entirely sure there, but that could be kind of fun, you know? The labyrinth itself doesn't seem like it'd be the greatest place to ride a beetle around, honestly, because there's so many hard turns and flat walls. If they expand it a bit, it could work, but realistically, I think you're still going to find you're using the Raptor and those other kinds of mounts when you're traveling around in there. The final big bit of speculation that I know I'm not the only one that's been thinking about, but we still have no tip-offs on, is Palawa Joko. So, spoilers for the main story right now. One of the big antagonists has been defeated by us, eaten alive, and destroyed. And so we've had somewhat reasonable closure on that he's fully gone now. He's dead, and he's out of there. But what does that actually mean as far as Tiri is concerned? Even in the most recent release, we saw some old characters we were familiar with coming back out to speak to us from the mists. So, what could have happened to Joko? Is he now maybe in the mists? Is that what truly defeating the Lich actually accomplishes? And if so, what kind of stuff can the devs do to play with that? So what you have to understand is in Guild Wars 1, many of the later Halloween updates started revolving around Joko. Funnily, a little bit of trivia you might not realize, but when Nightfall, the campaign that introduced Joko, was first released, it was basically right with Halloween. I think it was a situation where if you pre-ordered or played the beta or something of Nightfall, you'd get the Nightfall version of Halloween before everyone else, and you could get some special gear like a witch's hat and stuff. Maybe someone in the comments can correct me if I'm slightly off about this after all these years. But Joko was, as a part of Nightfall, also then a part of the Halloween releases. The devs established this very fun story and idea that there was a rivalry between Mad King Thorn, the primary, Halloween character, and Palawa Joko in all of his lichiness. And the two kind of had a lot of banter and back and forth. It was good stuff. In Guild Wars 2, though, every Halloween we've had so far, as many years as the game's been out, has not done anything with Joko, because we hadn't been to Elona yet. Last year, they didn't do anything. So we had Path of Fire release, Halloween quite quickly afterwards. We were wondering, was Palawa going to have anything to do with it? But no. Now, we've even defeated him, though. And the idea would be that Joko's been eaten, he's gone to the mists, and now maybe he's a part of the Mad Realm, and we'll see him join the cast of interesting Halloween characters. Seeing him interact not with just Mad King Thorn, but even his son as well, the Bloody Prince, could be really funny too. So maybe the devs will do something with that. And I'm kind of holding my breath, hoping they will do just a little something. They could even theme, I don't know, some of the content around Joko's forces now being in there, like in the Labyrinth, in the Mad Realm, and wherever else. And that could be kind of awesome. So there you go. That's the announcement of Halloween. It's in 1 week. Like I said at the head of this video, I don't really have too much more value to add after that. But I hope you guys are excited. I certainly am. And keep an eye out, because I will be playing some of this Reaper's Rumble stuff for you all. And hopefully it'll be a blast. Oh, well, how much old content is that now that they finally started to get in? We just had the Bazaar of the Four Winds. You know what's missing, guys? Season 1. Come on, ArenaNet. You can do it. See you guys next time.